On Oak Island, hundreds of people have conducted massive excavation projects over the last 230 years in an attempt to reach the bottom of the money pit, a deep, cleverly constructed shaft. But regrettably, abrupt and widespread subterranean flooding has ruined every effort. Because of this, many people think that anything buried more than 100 feet, see 30 meters below the surface, is protected by a complex system of booby traps. When a young man named Daniel McGinnis found an odd 13-foot diameter depression in the ground, close to the eastern end of Oak Island, in 1795, it began what is now regarded as the longest-running treasure hunt in history. But after excavating for about 10 feet, they discovered a platform of oak logs rather than a chest filled with gold and jewels. To properly complete this dig, they asked Simeon Linz, a local businessman, to invest in what they call the Onslow Company. Then the following year, they hit these platforms of rotting oak logs every 10 feet, as they are now able to dig down to an unprecedented depth. When they descend to 90 feet, see 27 meters, they discover something quite different. Korjan. Upon reaching 90 feet, they discovered a stone engraved with strange symbols that they were unable to decipher, but they were certain that this was a sign that a treasure was located directly beneath it. The workers took down the stone because they thought it was blocking the entrance to a huge treasure trove, but they would soon discover that it was used for something quite different. Korjan. They went to bed because it was getting late. However, they were shocked to discover that the money pit was 60 feet, see 18 meters deep, when they returned the following morning. McMahon. It appears that a booby trap is set off when the stone is removed, causing the entire area to flood. In order to keep people out, one would have to believe that this was constructed with a high degree of sophistication. The individuals who made this pit did not intend for it to be disturbed. During their excavations in and around the money pit in 1849, a new search team known as the Truro Company also experienced deep underground flooding. They were successful in making an important discovery, though. Randall. The Truro Company discovered the money pit was being nourished by the sea when they discovered the water flowing into it was salt water. Korjan. The Smith's Cove beach was found to be an artificial beach by the Truro Company. As part of a booby-trap system, they discovered odd box drains made of light cobblestone on a man-made beach. The drains resemble a hand, with 5 fingers that converge into a single tunnel. The Truro Company partially dismantled the 5 finger-like box drains in an attempt to close off the flood trap, but regrettably, the unending flow of salt water would still impede all of their deep digs in the money pit, as it would for future treasure seekers. The money pit experienced a catastrophic collapse during that period, most likely as a result of pumping and flooding. Additionally, the shaft's bottom essentially vanished. That collapse was disastrous for the Oak Island search because everything mixed and sank, creating a chaotic mess. And when the money pit collapsed, it went far down and possibly to the side if there was a treasure at some elevation inside the money pit. No one knows. Horror stories about Oak Island's complex network of booby-trapped flood tunnels over the last 200 years have compelled Rick and Marty Lagina and their group to create a far more calculated procedure. Charles. What have you got? Terry. 24. Charles. 24. That would enable them to locate a supposedly enormous and possibly holy treasure buried between 100 and 200 feet below the surface. Additionally, in 2020, geoscientist Dr. Ian Spooner used a novel technique to check for the presence of precious metals in the groundwater from those boreholes. The outcomes were astounding. We have wood. Have you got the wood? Yes. They were taken aback when they entered a secret 7-foot-tall tunnel that ran east-west directly beneath a profound structure known only as the garden shaft. The garden shaft was initially believed to be nothing more than an unidentified, deserted searcher tunnel until it was discovered by the Laginas and their team in 2017. It is located a few yards from the original money pit's presumed location. But following these incredible discoveries, they engaged Dumas Contracting Limited, a mining company, to rebuild the shaft so they could explore the tunnel beneath it further. Narrator. However, as Dumas representatives started a lateral drilling operation into the enigmatic tunnel, They reached a depth of 106 feet, ca. 32 meters. Scott, a lot of water that. Roger, definitely. Seawater started pouring into the shaft, stopping the operation and forcing the workers to evacuate, as many others had previously reported. Marty, it looks like everything is coming together here. We're drilling probes. The water contains metals. Therefore, on the one hand, it does appear that we are coming together here. However, we are unable to access it. And it's chilling how much what we're going through now is similar to what people went through 220 years ago. McMahon. As the Laginas have gotten closer to the treasure, it's telling. McMahon. The more danger, the more booby traps, the more jeopardy. Thus, it appears that the money pit is aware of the Lagina's activities. Everyone would want to get at it if a huge treasure was left here and a fantastic booby trap system was set up. Everyone has a stake in this. I do believe that the end is in sight. I firmly believe that we can solve this problem. If we locate it, it indicates that an undertaking was made on Oak Island that could potentially alter the course of history.